Hey, Gary here with you, day 66 AI blogging. We need to clean up a few posts that we wrote with Koala Bulk. But before we do that, inside of Google Search Console, you can see we're on day 66. This started way back April 16, and you can see the impressions are well over 6,000 impressions now for the content we've been creating. And the last batch of content we created has been written by ChatGPT-4. That means inside of ChatGPT with me providing the keywords or having ChatGPT figure out the keywords based upon the primary keyword and then pulling LSI keywords. And then also we have used Koala GPT-4 and Koala GPT-4 Bulk. This bulk is what I want to talk about today, and it's something that I missed in these last two posts that we created. So back inside of Grooveblog, these are the 4 blog posts that I'm talking about here. These astronomical posts that we're working on inside of Koala. And here is Koala. Of course, inside of Koala, if you want to go and see the articles that you've written in bulk mode, you can click on bulk mode. Then you can view your article queue, and you can see the last 2 that we have written right here. We're in bulk mode. So if I was to click on this one right here, historical development of astronomical observatories, a concise overview. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that it ends with a frequently asked questions. If you scroll back up and take a look at the details and come over here, you can see the outline. It did not include a conclusion. This happens with Koala when you check all of these new features they've added to include key features and the FAQ. It winds up making the FAQ the conclusion, or it leaves off the conclusion, if you want my opinion. And when you do it in bulk, you don't get that option to go in and add sections. You just have to let it write based upon the outline it creates because it's doing it all in the background. So what we're going to do is go into the historical development of astronomical observatories. And as you can tell, I'm getting that word astronomical. I'm starting to nail it every time now. But here we go. We're in here and we need this URL. Because when you scroll down, you're going to see this is the exact same article. And we still have that iframe issue right here. I still got to get information on that back from Groove support, see if they give me an update. But we're going to post that conclusion in right here, or the conclusion that we create from this URL. So we are going to copy that link because we're going to need it. When we get over to ChatGPT, we are going to say, please read this blog post, and we're going to give it the URL. Of course, we have WebPilot here enabled, and WebPilot is going to actually be able to go out, pull down the blog post, or put it in a buffer and read it, and take that as input to do the next input or to do the next action that I want it to take. And this is the input that I gave it. And it's an important distinction, and you're going to see what happened here. And this is a big part of what happens with AI. And it's just the old school ideal or old school principle of garbage in, garbage out. Not to say this was garbage, but the point was garbage in, garbage out means if you aren't very precise in what you tell the AI to do, or let me restate that, what you politely ask the AI to help you with, then you're not going to get a good result. So what did I say? I said, then write a conclusion to summarize the post. Please use hypnotic writing for this section to compel the reader to keep reading. Now, before we read this or take a look, I said to summarize the post. And then if you read this, and you should pause and read this because I want you to understand the difference in what this prompt gave me, garbage in, versus what I did next, which is a little bit better. Not to say it's not garbage, or not to say that this is garbage out based upon what we put, but read this. It starts off with the blog post on Universe Unriddled titled Historical Development of Astronomical Observatories, a concise overview, takes us on an enlightening journey through the evolution of astronomical observatories. It begins with the rudimentary observations made by early humans using their eyes and basic tools to the sophisticated centers of cosmic research that exist today. And it keeps saying the post highlights. And it comes back and says it also discusses the significant contributions made by. But you can see the tone here. Now it does wrap up nicely, or it starts to wrap up nicely here with this last sentence where it kicks into the hypnotic writing portion versus the summary, which is the first paragraph, or based upon my input of asking it to summarize the post. It was really like, okay, in summary, this is the facts. In summary, or to summarize, it was very dry, very to the fact and boring. It was just giving me a summary, which is what I asked it to do. But it moves on to the hypnotic portion here. Now allow me to draw you into the cosmic dance of the universe where the past, present, and future of astronomical observatories intertwine, and then it carries on. And it's not bad. But then I came back and I said, okay, that is a good summary, but it is boring to read. Wouldn't you agree? Now I did ask it a question here. Wouldn't you agree that it was boring to read? But then I moved on. I want to highlight the fact that I asked it a question there. It didn't actually answer my question. But we move on here and we say, so please try again, match the tone of the original article, and use LSI keywords in the conclusion, and don't forget to use hypnotic writing for this section to compel the reader to keep reading. Notice I didn't use the word summarize or give me a summary, which is very academic in the fact of give me a summary. Person asks for summary, robot gives me summary. It reads like a summary. Read this one. Pause the video and read this one, but I'll start here. In the grand tapestry of time, the blog post, and it gives the blog post title, on the website weaves a captivating tale of our cosmic journey. Now, I'm not going to use that sentence. I'm going to start down here. From the dawn of civilization, when our ancestors gazed at the celestial bodies with awe and wonder, to the modern era of high-tech observatories, our quest to unravel the mysteries of the universe has been relentless. Then it goes into now imagine more hypnotic style writing. And then down here it says, so dear reader, as you stand on the edge of the cosmos, remember this, our journey from the stars is far over. Then it compels people or gives people a reason, asks them some questions to really sort of work on the intrigue and entice them to keep reading or hopefully stay here on the blog. I don't like so dear reader, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to Grooveblog. And we are going to put in a conclusion. And of course, I'm going to do this right quick here while I'm here with you. I'm going to make that a heading 2. And then I'm going to get a couple carriage returns. And then I'm going to paste in that right there. And like I said, I'm not going to use this sentence at all. I'm just going to start with from the dawn of civilization. And I'm going to break this paragraph up here. And then I'm going to take out dear reader. And I'm just going to say, so as you stand on the edge of the cosmos. Then I'm going to break this down here. And I'm going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to go ahead and say publish. Then we'll exit back to all of our posts. And you can see here that the posts we wrote or the posts that I wrote with ChatGPT, those are good because I added the conclusion, or ChatGPT when I'm asking for all of the sections inside of the blog post outline. I'm getting those, but I'm not getting those with Koala. So at that point, I'm just taking that information over to Koala or from Koala and Grooveblog over to ChatGPT. And of course, if I'm using ChatGPT 4, I have the plugins, which means it can go out, it can pull down the blog post, it can read it. And then I have to focus my efforts in on my prompting, and even not so much prompting, just having a conversation and being clear and precise, just like you would as you were having a conversation with an assistant or someone that was going to write the conclusion for you or someone that was going to do editing. Or if you were asking someone, hey, please read this blog post and then summarize, they might understand what you mean by summarize to put it in a conclusion. But the problem is, remember, you're talking to the AI. At this point, at this stage, especially if you haven't laid the foundation in the chat through previous input, and the fact that you want this conclusion to be a certain way where it can understand exactly what you want, then it has no basis for what you're asking for. So garbage in, garbage out. Just work like I always say here, and just like I always do, focus and then work on creating a precise input or prompt, if you must use that word, when you're having your conversation with the AI to get the most effective or the best content, which will be more effective when people are reading it, because then it sounds like someone wrote it. And more important than the fact that it sounds like someone wrote it, the fact that it is in a format or it's laid out to match your content and to entice the reader as they read, to have them want to keep consuming or keep reading your content, meaning stay on your blog. If this video was helpful and you're having fun, give it a thumbs up. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Let me know questions or comments. I appreciate that, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.